but I can't do it justice
What do
by
you mean?
talking about it. It's out of my depth
Yeah.
league. I don't feel. I feel my commentary on it would be able to bring noteworthy praise to maybe 10% of the film, if that, and all that was going on and all of the talent and excellent. I mean, literally, I felt every element of the movie, from the score to the acting to the writing to the set design. I mean, it was exceptional. And I'm going to say, yeah, I liked this joke like that.
Yeah.
That's going to be the depth of what I have to offer. So,
Absolutely. But I think that is also like fine. I know like this movie has so many like it's supposed to have like all these like hidden messaging and all themes and all, and that's what I was telling you earlier. Like it felt like I was doing like a high school analysis of like a play, and be like, oh, what did Shakespeare say? And I was like, Shakespeare didn't speak proper English. Can you guys stop talking about him? And yeah, it's like that. So I don't necessarily feel. I mean, that's fair if you feel that you won't do justice to the movie. But I think the commentary can also just be how you perceive things and what is, enjoyment factors or not enjoyment factors. And as you do any other movie.
yeah. And I think sometimes when I think of like Rotten Tomato scores, there's like the critic score and then the audience score. I like guessing both. And I will with this as well. And I actually know them because I spoiled myself recently. But I feel like I could only contribute to the audience score for this movie. And some movies I feel like I would be able to offer more of a critique. But I think the reason why I feel that way is, and what you were saying there is, this movie really did feel like it carefully curated every second that went into it. And that degree of detail, I not only have the mental bandwidth right now to recollect on all of the little things that happened, but I also don't have enough experience or knowledge of the industry or fucking even wisdom to be able to fully appreciate all the little things that I felt went into this movie, because I really do feel like it was a magnificent film. So I think for someone to really get a good fucking review out of it, they should just go watch it, and just take it in.
Yeah. It's really funny because what I was trying to look for when I came up with the idea to watch this was I was trying to find a nice romantic movie.
Are you? This is not that.
Apparently not.
But also,
There hasn't really been like a rom-com or like an actual romantic movie that has been made in the last 10 years. I couldn't like really find a good one.
Oh, I saw a great one semi-recently. I don't remember what it was called, but I saw it in theaters at like a theater. It was a fun, very cute movie. I cried.
Oh,
Yeah, it was sweet.
yeah. I was kind of looking for that movie. I was like, we're heading towards like holiday season. I want to watch not necessarily like a feel good, but the right word would be I wanted a sappy movie.
Yeah, a good sappy movie. Well, at the end of this, when we're done with this, ask me for that movie and I'll tell you what it was. I don't necessarily want to do it for this because I don't want to watch it again, but I'll find you that movie. You should watch it because it's cute as hell.
Nice. Yeah, I would love to see like a cute movie where, you like, I was talking to somebody about it and I was like, I want a movie where guy meets girl, they fall in love, things don't work out, girl runs away, guy then chases, and then they get together at the end.
Did you see I can't believe I can't get there. About Time. Where the guy can go into a closet and rewind into his own life and redo things and like relive that day.
No.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite. It's got to be one of my top 5 movies. I cry every time I watch it. I've seen it like 6 times. But he's like, you'll know the guy. I think his name is Rupert Grant. And yeah. No. That's Ron Weasley.
Yeah.
You've seen Ex Machina?
No. I was just told to like watch that recently, but I've not seen it yet.
How have you not seen Ex Machina?
I don't know.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, Dom Hall Gleason. So you know this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he, super
face.
awkward kind of like ginger guy. So it's that guy. He's the main character, and he meets this girl, and he like falls in love with her, and it's Amy Adams. So like super cute, almost like girl next door type of thing, and they're just like perfect. But he's awkward as hell. So he goes on this, and he just keeps ruining it. And so he finds out he has this ability to go back in time, and so he keeps going back in time and trying to like master and perfect the date. And it's so adorable the whole time, so you should watch it. Yeah.
Does it not get like creepy of him like I have to go, your aunt, like say like she's already told him that she's gonna, after this meeting, she's gonna go meet her aunt because her aunt has a child.
Oh yeah, right? And then so he knows that.
And then he already knows that.
So it does all the things. It does all the things.
But isn't that creepy?
But it's because it's so the place it's coming from is just like genuine and honest, and the way things like fuck up, the ways things get messed up, it never goes the way you would want it to. So like that's the type of thing where it's like he'll have had a perfect date, and then he'll say something like that, or something like that will happen, and it'll shift the entire dynamic. It's like fuck, and so it's just this constant chase, and it's adorable, and there's a beautiful relationship with the father. I can't speak more highly of this movie.
Nice. I think I'll watch it. I've been looking for a movie where, because I love a good chase, not just like cars, but like.
Have you seen Fast and Furious?
Yeah, all of them, multiple times. I can probably tell you what happens in the last
multiple times.
Yeah,
that's a lot of times. Anyway, good chase.
Yeah, but it's like really fun because the whole idea of just like one person trying to convince the other person, like, "Hey, I'm here, love me," is like adorable and like really heartwarming. And just in general, like I enjoy movies that have that humanizing aspect. It might be anything. It might be like, betrayal. It might be love, caring. It might be sacrifice. Just anything that's like a human emotion or a human behavior. Something that centers around that. It's like always like, like movies like, say, for example, Home Alone. They're not critically acclaimed movies, as in like critics don't rate them like, oh my God, these are like high in the 90%, probably in Rotten Tomatoes and all. But when you watch that movie, it's just like so nice. You get a nice warm feeling. One I'd really like to watch is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Classic.
That's so fun.
I haven't seen it in fucking 20 years, but
yeah, it got me scared of ants for like for a bit.
What about, did you watch A Bug's Life?
Oh, dude, that was so cool. I love that movie so much. I've been meaning to watch the Bee Movie again.
Oh, so have I. Yeah, that's been in like my gonna get to it or like and want to watch it, but never quite in the mood for like a year and a half. That's a good one.
I think a few months ago I realized that it's Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Right, as the bee.
His voice is iconic. Well, have you seen A Fault in Our Stars?
Yeah.
Did you watch Sex Education?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how in like I think it's the end of the second season. I haven't seen past there, but it was like he and the girl were gonna like get together, and then the fuckwit in the wheelchair fucked him over.
Yeah,
and so he lost out on that.
Yep,
that broke me. I mean, obviously that's what was gonna happen. Oh well, you've seen How I Met Your Mother. Yeah. So that's just the classic, the perfect chase 'em Ted Mosby.
Yeah. So Yeah, not a huge fan.
Were you a Friends guy?
No, it's
I
just
just
because
love Ted.
it's just so. I feel just Ted is so sad. It's like Ross, right? It's just like a sad character. He's just always like you
But
like.
that's the beauty of it.
Because okay, so the main reason I don't like How I Met Your Mother is it got ended really quickly. So the ending of like
the last
this whole
season.
show is like, hey, this is How I Met Your Mom, and then I met her, and then she was dead. Second, uh, the show is so scripted,
Of course. I mean, it's a fucking sitcom.
but you have sitcoms like Big Bang Theory does such an awesome job of like actually creating an atmosphere that these are just people who are like nerds, and obviously it's a little bit more elevated, but with what do you call it, with How I Met Your Mother, it's really funny. And something that makes it really funny is that they've done such a good job that everything is like a setup for a joke that's written after it. So you know that okay, this is like okay, this is for laughs. But I didn't have like that, what do you call it, like close connection on like what's gonna happen with their life. I think the only two people were
Really?
like Lily and Marshall.
Interesting.
I was like, I just hope these guys don't fall apart because they are like awesome and they're like pretty much the example of how every healthy relationship is like.
Yeah.
Some sacrifices, some backstories. One person, you find out like secrets years later, and then they're like, oh, we don't know how this will work, but then they fight through it. They compromise,
And they grow. Yeah.
and they grow.
Well, I don't know. I grew up on it. I also I resonate with Ted Mosby. Fuck. I completely lost the thing I was going to reference. It was a good one. But I'll go to the other one that I thought of, which was I don't think you've ever seen Psych.
I've seen Psych,
You've seen Psych?
the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a psychic detective?
Yeah.
How much of it?
I've seen 4, or no, I've seen 3 seasons of it.
That's okay. But the I reference it because the relationship of I remember what I was going to say now. I'll come back there. But the relationship between Spencer and Jules, it's like it melts me.
Yeah.
It melts me.
Yeah.
That's a perfect one. So the thing you were saying about the setup, though, I don't necessarily fully agree, and I will defend this. And not to say Big Bang Theory wasn't a great show. I think it was. And I think like I like the way that you said about creating an environment. I also think like the characters were very well done.
Yep.
But I remember watching a video on YouTube where they took like the 4 main sitcoms of the time. I think they had Friends, they had The Big Bang Theory, and I can't remember the other 2. But they removed the laugh track. And the comment you made about every single line was a setup for a joke, that is the entirety of the Big Bang Theory, because they had some of the most, it was like every 14 seconds or something like that is a forced laugh. And so you really realize every single section of dialogue is dialogue, pause, laughing track, dialogue, pause, laughing track. And it's just this cyclical fucking machine. So I'm surprised that just as a
Because for me, I can imagine, like I've met more people who are in like STEM, who talk like
STEM,
science, technology, engineering, math, who are in STEM and talk like how these physicians did, compared to how like Ted and all they do.
Encyclopedia. Yeah. No, that's fair. And I think that is
that
fair.
is one reason I fell in love with Friends, was because Friends had like a more, what do you call it, like a nuanced group of like different characters that I felt I could relate more to.
I've never watched the show, and I think like all the clips of it, I just never really liked the characters. I never liked anything I saw of Chandler or Joey. I just thought they were fucking tools when I watched them. But one that I think did do well. I'll actually give you two because did you ever watch George Lopez?
George Lopez? No.
That was actually a really good show. It was like a George Lopez is a Mexican. I think he's a Mexican comedian. If he's not Mexican, maybe Puerto Rican. I don't fucking. I'm gonna look it up actually. Our one viewer is gonna fucking ram me for this. He's Mexican, yeah, Mexican American, and he's a comedian, and so it's kind of like a Mexican American family, in suburbs or whatever. But
Nice.
it was a very funny show, and it was kind of like raunchy's not the right word, but it was a little risque, and it was kind of, it came on at like Nick at Night, like 10:30 or 11. It was when you were a kid. It was like, am I allowed to be watching all these episodes? Have you seen The Ranch with?
Yeah. I love that show.
Yeah,
that was the first time I think I saw like, and I don't want to jump the gun and say anything here, but like, it was because I'd seen That 70s Show.
Which was a great show.
Mind blowing.
Fucking amazing show.
Yeah. And I fell in love with like Hyde's character.
Really Hyde, interesting.
Right? I mean, not like, I won't even say the character, but the actor, like he did a really good job.
Yeah.
And then I saw The Ranch, and then it just like Ashton Kutcher and
that's right.
Danny Masterson.
Yeah.
And then that show, I just rewatched it this year again with Sahil.
Did you? The Ranch? Yeah.
And that show just has.
Does it hold up?
So good. Yeah. I was shocked to know that show had laughter tracks.
Had laughing tracks? Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to, but it did, and it still like really holds up in just like that whole like, because I think I was watching that show when I had just moved to Canada, and my roommate was from like middle of nowhere Alberta. Right, and so he used to tell me like, I have had like my hand up like a cow's ass, and I'm like, okay, that's not true. And then I saw it in the show, like, that's what people do.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what people do.
Yeah.
But then he had like a essay charge on him, Danny Masterson.
Essay? Oh, sexual assault. Yeah. And they canceled the show? Is that what happened?
No, they didn't cancel the show. They wrote him off.
Yeah.
They wrote him off.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember something like that happening.
And then they did such a good job. Like, I think one of my favorite things about good TV shows is like the ending. Because it's hard to end things.
It is very hard.
Start it.
Very hard.
There's this writer and creator who's done all these like southern shows. Like he's done Landman and he did Yellowstone.
I haven't seen either of those.
And he's done like a bunch of those which are like set in like rural America and like the South, and a lot for like, the farmers and all these. So great perspectives, really awesome plot lines, but all of them towards the end, just like you feel like you're not satisfied. And that always like makes me like, what? That's kind of how I felt during this movie too. Poor things.
So just before we get there, I want to ask one. Have you seen Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
No.
Oh my God! So I want you really quick, rapid fire. What sitcom? 3 questions. What sitcom had the best resolution and ending? The worst that you were most disappointed in? And what's one that I wanted when I formed this question was you wouldn't expect, or I'll say you felt like did it well or in a unique way, or even just best and worst.
Okay. So I think the worst I felt was How I Met Your Mother, only because I felt like I had given all these years, not all these years, I like binged it, but I gave all this time, and then I got to see the payout of like him, like the mother too late. And then in the end, he goes back to Robin, which is like, they could have just had that happen and everybody would have like rooted for it. And then the best, I think, when it comes to sitcom, the first one I would say is Arrested Development.
I never saw it.
It's one of the best written TV shows I've ever seen.
Really? I mean, Michael Cera and Jason Bateman, so fucking...
Right.
I can't believe I've never watched it.
And there's this character named Toby, who's also like I think a comedian, and he also does a lot of writing for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But that show just, I can watch it so many times, and it's a slow burner where you just kind of like have it, you can have it in the background, and then once you kind of get the gist and the pace of it, then you can like focus on it, and then you like, dude, this is like the funniest shit ever. So I really love that. And then the second best I would say is Modern Family.
Good ending on that?
Great ending.
That's important.
It made me cry.
How does it end? I'm never going to watch it start to finish.
Start to finish. Just like the kids grow up.
Yeah.
You know, the kids move out to college. One of the, like Phil's family, it's like you've got Haley and Alex, and then the son. The son is like supposed to be a really dud because all he's done throughout is been like just be a buffoon around everything. And then he also figures out life. Alex also finds like Alex gets really hot as the show proceeds, like from a nerd to like really hot. And then the actor who plays Haley, she's done such a great job. You have this Mexican lady, Sophia something.
Vergara,
Yeah, and just overall that show is, I think, one of the funniest shows that I still watch, and I laugh so much, and it has 0 laugh tracks.
Ah, interesting. How's the marriage end up between Phil and the wife?
Oh,
they're good. They're happy. They work.
I think for me, if I don't have a marriage like that, I don't think I'll have a great marriage.
That's adorable.
Like that's literally like my benchmark of how awesome and how much both of them are like so imperfectly perfect for each other.
Yeah. I like that. That's cute.
You know, like, dude, yeah. What about you? What's your...
Well, I will... I'll just respond with the 3 comments I have as opposed to 1, 2, 3. But I think primarily because I think there's a couple that I haven't considered, because I know there's one that I can't think of right now, but I remember it being, if not the best, one of the best. But I felt the ending of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was... It made me cry, and I think it was so well done. I was so satisfied.
Yeah.
I was left completely okay with it being ended, and completely okay with that being the ending. How I Met Your Mother, I was disappointed with that first, but I've since totally become okay with it. I think like it was a little quick, but at the same time, we also kind of got a whole season, and we get to see, her interact with each of the characters. And I didn't love the last season as it was told, and just the things that happened in it, but I was okay. I'm okay with it, and I'm a lifelong fan of Kristen Milioti now forever. So every time I see her, I'm just like, awesome. It's like a new Will Smith movie. And then the
Will Smith.
The third one I was just thinking, the ending of season 7 of The Office, when he and Holly are in the room, and there's the candles around them, and the whole office starts singing 570 whatever.
Yeah.
They start singing that song, but how many hours they've been with him.
Yeah.
And that just broke me. And then that's kind of when they get rid of Steve Carell. And so I find like that's the true ending of The Office.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a huge mark of like knowing when to end the show. When you're writing off like this one main character. And what they did, like how many seasons?
2, I think.
2.
2.
Yeah, 2.
And they were fine.
Not bad.
They bring him back a little. They bring him back for an episode or 2. And but yeah.
I didn't know until I like saw it 2 years ago. I was like rewatching it, and then I saw like the actor who plays Ryan. He's done like a lot of writing in the show.
Oh, has he?
The guy who plays Jim Halpert, he's done writing for the show.
Well, he's become a fucking
director.
What's his name? He's married to Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
crazy. And then he did Jack Ryan. He did Quiet Place.
Quiet Place.
He really branched out.
He made and directed Quiet Place.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, so why can't I think of his name?
I just call him Jim.
Jim. Yeah. But I know his name. But I haven't been able to remember it the last couple of years.
You just said Jim Halpern.
John Krasinski.
Krasinski.
I did, but all I got was he
His
is
facts
such an
about-
established character that all of the initial like photos and links are all dedicated to Jim Halpert, the fictitious character, not John Krasinski. So it took me a little while. All of these would, and I looked for people also search for, and it's like all of these are related directly to the Office characters.
Page.
Probably there is but that's the Office wiki. Oh my God, the Office has its own wiki. Anyway, all right. So you were about to segue into this movie, Poor Things. So let's do it.
Poor Things. Yeah.
So set the stage for us. Tell me, bring me back into the world of Yorgos Lanthimos.
Well, first of all, great name. The director.
Best name, except whenever I'm trying to remember it, I can't. I just know it's
right. I think one of my favorite reasons to believe that the is it Norse mythology?
Norse. Yeah.
Right, that's the correct word. Is real is because all their gods have like such cool names. But he's Greek. He's done a great job. I love just how the movie goes. Also, it was nice to do a movie that I've not seen before.
But wait, but he's Greek.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but so Nordic is like Northern
like the
European and
are
Scandinavian
like,
and Vikings, but Greek gods and Greek mythology is for like Zeus and Athena and So you're
that's why I was asking the Norse is that the right word?
Yeah, two different. It was for, and you identified like Nordic. So, but for him, relation
but
to
it's
Greece,
kind of the same. Greece, that's how people are named. The Thamos and Vamos.
Cool. Yeah, but that's in Greek mythology. Yeah,
I was really like taken by the movie of being like, oh, this is really cool. Because, it starts with, for the longest time, I thought she was just a cat.
Oh, you thought she was a cat?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I saw the trailer and I got hooked because she does like, oh, that person's like winking and then she's trying to wink and then she like drops the plates and things.
Yeah.
And then she's also dances. And so I thought, because you see William Dafoe's character in the in the movie, and then you're like, oh, okay, this like he's obviously fucked up face, right? So you're imagining, oh, he's like this monster, and then this is like his pet project, right? And then here comes this rescuer, Prince Charmer. That's what I thought the movie was gonna be. That here comes Mark Ruffalo, who's gonna come and like steal her and help her escape.
Okay.
And then she then goes and like, because remember Holmes and Watson has that lady who's like, she was raised by cats.
Yeah. Great character. I love that.
So I had like pretty much exactly like, oh yeah, this is how like if somebody like, this is how I imagine cat ladies are these days.
You know what? I will interject just briefly because I think this is the first time where I've looked back at Holmes and Watson and said, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
I think looking back, I'm happy I watched it. It was a fun movie. It was a good movie. It was an enjoyable movie. Okay, I changed my mind.
So I thought like this is what the whole movie's gonna be. Like it's gonna be like an adventure and...
You thought she was just going to be in that state of mind the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
this happy-go-lucky, crazy person doesn't
How far into the trailer did you get?
I saw the full trailer.
Really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, she's just going to be like now put through the structures of society.
Mm-hmm.
And because I definitely believe like people are way too uptight than they need to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, because like you go to Starbucks.
You shouldn't talk about people that way.
Why not?
No, I'm being uptight.
Yeah. I like to refer as the stick with people with the stick up the butt.
Yeah.
I think I love that phrase. And so I really imagined it was going to be her going through like, oh, I'm experiencing things for the first time, XYZ. And majority of that movie is that, when you
Largely, yeah.
remove any like connotations of like, oh, meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It is that. And I think that was really fun to watch.
Yeah, totally. And they made it so like relatable, I think. So yeah, I went into it with a little more of a recognition that it was going to be like her development. So I was really intrigued by like it's obviously it starts in black and white, and then I know in the trailer they're showing both of these. And so I was really curious at what point they were going to transition over to it. And I thought the point at which they did was really well done. But it was right when... Oh, it was right when she started to have her first orgasm. Was it when she was playing with herself? Or was it when she was... They took the... No, it was when... he was taking the baby out of her dead body and starting the surgery, I think. And so it was the coming into life that it started to switch into color. I have it on my notes.
I think it switches when she's now run away with Mr.
No, it happens before that.
Because when he tells them what happened, and then they did this like whole, because the guy he gets as his like, oh, I want your help,
assistant. He's talking to him about it.
Yeah, he's talking to him about it, and they're still in black and white, and then you see her in black and white because it's after that when what's his name, Mark Ruffalo comes to what do you call it, make the contract.
Doesn't he come after that scene though?
No, because he's talking about it then, where he's asking him like, what happened? You need to tell me or I'm going to go to the cops. And he's like, I'll tell you, it's like a happy tale. And then...
but he's not having... Yeah, and so it happens around them, but not with Mark Ruffalo.
No,
not when Mark Ruffalo was
you still get more black and white scenes after, because after that, they're sitting down and they're talking about, you have feelings for her. And then they do memories again of how she was throwing like stuff at him and he was kind of enjoying it. And then she goes and, asks him like, oh, will you help me travel and help me experience? And then she licks his ear and asks him to lick his ear.
They introduced this. Yeah, so no, I think it was when she plays with herself for the first time, she's like becoming a more like mature and like self-aware. I think it happens right around that, because that conversation with the assistant about being in love with her, that's all entangled with that same... That's when they start to sexualize her as a character. And I think it happens within
way
that.
Before. Orgasm is like one of the second encounters they have. Like the first encounter is that they come and she's like breaking those plates, and then she like, I did a wee wee.
Great scene.
Right? Yeah.
I love that. Well, anyway, I can't.
But yeah, I mean, it just might be, her. It would make sense if they do it that way, of like, because I know like the flashback scenes seem to be all in, what do you call it? In
black and white.
No, in color.
Oh, in color.
For some reason.
But then also when because I had a note about her. It was the director focused on just her legs for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just like so cool. Like, when does a movie just allow like time to pass like that for something that like is so innocuous, but the time that he dedicated to it gave it so much meaning, right? And it just like really slowly built and revealed itself. And I think it was in that moment that he shifts into the color, and that's the scene when she's playing with herself in her bed. Her legs moving subtly at the end of that is indicating that behavior.
But she only plays with herself when she starts putting that muffin.
No, but that's the scene that comes after.
Yeah. She doesn't play because on the bed she's waking up from being chloroformed.
Yeah, but she's she's playing with herself in that scene.
No,
yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, because that's actually really interesting. The way we interpreted this differently. So the focusing on her legs and then her suddenly moving and then the camera shifting up to her face and then the next 5 seconds is her just like, right? That's where they introduced, and then she's in the kitchen later that morning, and that's why she's shoving something into her because self.
That was if she would have figured that already, she would have told somebody, and that's why the moment she figures that out, like, oh, this is like great, this feels good, then she realizes, oh, I be happy when Bella want.
I don't know.
Right? Because I think
I'd like to just watch that 5 minutes go by.
Because I wonder how many people wake up from being chloroformed and they're like, I want to touch myself.
Oh, deep slumber.
Yeah, literally sometimes.
Good dreams, maybe. Who knows?
I get hungover and I'm like, I don't want to touch myself at all.
So they okay. So we
very again, like, could be possible. I think we can like go back because my whole thing from that scene was like, she's been chloroformed. She is like put down on the bed. Everything's like in slow motion. Like they chloroform her in the car because she's like, I want to get out, and they say no. So she acts out like a child.
Mm-hmm. It was great. She's screaming at his face.
Yeah. And then she gets chloroformed, and then you see the assistant carrying her to the bed, and then you see like boob shot, and then
I was shocked, first of all, that Emma Stone had a topless scene. I was like, well, okay, but she probably agreed to it because the director agreed to like show very little of her, and then the rest of the movie happened. I was like, didn't expect like that.
Yeah, dude. Which is also very interesting because I imagine, I don't know how many, because she's married and all, and
who's she married to?
Some writer. I think he is a writer.
Let's find out. Go on.
Yeah, and it's very interesting to see, like, as an actor, when you do decide to go do these roles, and then you have like such a explicit portrayal of your body, right? As a partner, how do you support that?
It's a question. It's a tricky one. I don't know. I just went through a relationship with that question, so it's fucking hard.
Yeah, man. It's like, I know some people get upset when it's like, oh, she's kissing another dude. But then this is like, no, she's literally butt naked.
I mean, there's a lot in this, and so I can't. And honestly, almost every time I watch a movie, and if I happen to know, like, say with fucking Emily Blunt, right? If I happen to watch a movie and Emily Blunt I think of Jim. I'm like, oh man, how do you go watch that?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's like vice versa. I wonder if, because I think women are better at like emotions than men are. So I wonder if that emotion is just like heightened, of like that, oh dude, you're like going out there and kissing all these chicks in this movie, or you're the guy who's having sex. Like Mark Ruffalo also has like wife and kids, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, needs to be like huge respect as co-workers and as co-actors in the movie to be comfortable to do this scene.
Intimacy coordinators, and actually, so two pieces of commentary. So the actor's perspective. When I started the relationship, and she's an actress, and this concept got brought up, she was like, so surprised that it would cause any form of like discomfort, because like in their world, it's so generally and collectively understood that it is just acting, and that, you know, you're in a room full of people, and it's very structured, and so and so, you know, it's viewed very, very differently.
I don't know. I'm a little bit insecure, so I would be like, why do you got to do your practice of dialogues at 11 p.m.?
Yeah,
You know, why can't you like do it before? But I guess it's like, you know, part of the trade, because yeah, I mean, it just comes down to like how secure one feels in their relationship, right? Because for some people it's like, holy shit, this is like too much for me and I can't handle this. But a lot of other people find like healthy ways and like assurances. um I kind of feel a lot similar about like polyamorous relationships too. It's often like a wondering aspect of like, oh, like I'm okay to like I'm just talking about myself. It's like if say I do bring like a third person into the relationship, like maybe I only love this third person like 10%, and I'm really, you know, 90% in love with this other person. But then I find out that the person I'm in love with 90% is in love with me 10%.
Oh, well.
And it's like,
Oh, well, shit.
whoa,
That relationship wasn't gonna last.
whoa.
Yeah.
What
Well, I
do
don't
you
know.
do?
I think like I mean, I've got a buddy in a poly relationship, and you know, and that started after, you know, after their marriage started. That it was brought up to him that she wanted to start that, and so
Yeah, that's a crazy discussion too. Like to bring it out, like, hey, I think we should see other people, which I think usually means you already are.
no, I don't necessarily know that, but yeah, I don't know. I think from like the acting perspective, I can't imagine being able to fully separate yourself logically from that scene to a point where it doesn't conflate or complicate. I don't know, but yeah, let's move on from that.
Yeah. And but yeah, basically, so just having like what do you call it? And also, it being Emma Stone, I think was a big factor why I decided to watch this movie. Because I just felt like there hasn't been like a Emma Stone movie that I've seen in a long time. And to just basically have that opportunity to be like, okay, I'll watch this. And this seems like I didn't know this is how the movie was gonna go. So just from the trailer, it seemed like, oh, this is gonna be like chaotic and nice. And majority of the time, that's what it was. Just like having like very relatable interactions. Like for example, the baby crying and she being like, "I'm gonna go smack,
Punch that
punch
baby,
that
yeah.
baby." Right? Because we've all been in like a movie theater and you hear oh, dude, airplanes. I hate it.
You don't like, oh, when
A
there's
crying
a baby.
Oh man.
But I can't get mad. I bring my headphones,
Yeah.
and when there's a baby, it's always like, oh fuck. But I can't get mad at it,
Yeah.
because it's like, what can you do? The parent is gonna be the parent's obviously miserable in that moment. Like, oh no, it's happening to me. My
Yeah.
child's going off. I'm saying off all these people, you know. And there's nothing that, I mean, you've got this child in this cramped, crowded place, and the fucking plane's going and it's noisy. Obviously, the baby's gonna fucking cry. So, you know. But maybe give it a little bit of bourbon in its baby bottle or something to put it to sleep.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
that's the trick, right? Like dip the fingers in whiskey and then Right?
But to your comment about Emma Stone, I agree. I haven't seen one with her in a while. I think the last was like I fell asleep during La La Land and maybe like Easy A, but she was the perfect person for this role, and I think that's why I agreed to it, because I've seen the I knew nothing about it, but I've seen the title art or the cover art of this film for a couple of years, and you recommended it to me, so I watched the trailer and I kind of pick up on the general concept. I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be great for that. This is the main reason I wanted to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, she looks great. She's got like a bunch of what do you call it? Awesome outfits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like,
but no shoes. I never understood why no shoes.
She had shoes.
No, and at the start of the movie, when she's in the house, I have a note. Why these crazy tops with these big shoulders, but no shoes?
Oh, she's inside. She's at home. We don't wear shoes in our home.
That makes sense. But she was barefoot, no socks.
Yeah, you don't need that. You have a person who cleans the house and cleans everything you walk on.
Right. I hate walking around without socks.
And the fact, I think, was like that God is a scientist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I didn't pick up on that, but that's wonderful.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing as a scientist, he keeps the place pretty clean.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was really fascinated.
They also have help. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, one person who probably hates her life so much. Right.
I think that'd probably be an okay home to be. Oh, but you're dealing with
Bella,
that kid.
who's, like, crazy.
Yeah.
I often think about, like, this movie made me think a lot about things I've seen in my life growing up, where my uncle basically had like help for the kids, and they were like two people who did not only chores in the house but also help with like taking care of the kid. And I've seen them like, oh, gotta change the diaper, got to get the milk ready, gotta wash all the kids' bottles, and then as the kid grows up, make sure you walk it to the school bus, and make sure it's like studying and all. And just imagining like how much of a hassle it can be. I mean, like I get pissed off at like things that happen as an adult, right? So it's pretty easy to imagine that for somebody who's like taking care of a child, you can get like so angry, but there isn't really anything that you can do.
Yeah, when you're the maid. Well, I remember I walk around whenever I'm back in New York and I'm like walking through the park by my house. There's almost always an immigrant nanny taking care of a white kid whose parents are off, and every now and then these kids are fucking horrible. Like they're spoiled, or they're disrespectful, or they're just outrageously rowdy. And I look at these people having to take care of these kids. Just like, man, that's gotta suck, because you can't discipline the child. Like you have to be fully subservient to that child. And I'm looking at that child like, that is not something you should ever have to be subservient to. And so that's so I think you're right.
That's always what stems like the question of like, oh, nature versus nurture, where everybody kind of does like, and that's why school is important, because you see that when you're put in a setting and you have like 500 kids in your classroom, everybody's behaving differently. But everybody's kind of put through the same rigorous system of like, this is how you're supposed to behave in a classroom. She
never feels negatively about the things that happen to her, like the negative things that come about and the lessons that she has to learn. She just always embraces the lesson and the growth that comes with it, and doesn't take that time to like sit in sorrow for her loss or this thing that's been done to her. She kind of just accepts it and takes the lesson from it, and allows it to contribute to her growth, which ultimately is what happens at the end of those experiences for us. So seeing just like being able to connect immediately the lesson to the hardship, and then let that immediately connect into the more like broader and full person that she is, who you increasingly become attached to. And like really once she starts to figure out like the language, and she starts to, it's right around the time where she's reading on the boat, right? Yeah. And her vocabulary starts to come up, and she's starting to understand these complex concepts, and she's defending herself, and it's like, really cool. And so you're really starting to become connected with her and the person that she is, and she's so honest and genuine and pure. I really like you know,
Yeah. Even then,
that
it's
growth.
like Mark Ruffalo's character, Duncan Wedderburn.
Oh yeah.
He is against her reading
Yeah.
because she like, oh, I liked you so much better when you spoke like a broken
Yeah,
person,
yeah.
right? You're losing all these nuances, and now you're like getting logic. And one of my favorite things was about because she grew up with like a scientist. Uh, I would say that would be safe to say he was a scientist,
Oh
God,
yeah, sure.
right? And
Doctor, scientist. Yeah.
and she basically didn't know basic human social interactions, but she knew the meaning of like, oh, empirical
Empirical,
data,
yeah.
and like when he's like, oh, I can't go for another round, oh, is it like a physiological issue, right, that men have,
Yeah.
right? And then as she learns more, she also meets this cynical guy who
Mm-hmm.
teaches her like, oh yeah, everything is like not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they go to Alexandria and
Mm-hmm.
they see all those dying kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, oh my God, I'm like really sorry for all these things. I was really surprised that that didn't come around to be like more of a discussion in the movie.
I'm really surprised they didn't. I thought the lesson she was going to learn there was, I thought they were going to then show the point of being in Alexandria was to show that people are flawed and they're suffering and that
Yeah.
people are corrupt, right? And so she gives the money to the two employees of the cruise there who are obviously going to steal it, right?
Oh, yeah.
We know that. But I thought they were going to then introduce them again 5 minutes later, maybe in town, you know, they're at a restaurant and they're blowing the money and then she sees that and then there's an interaction or a confrontation that was supposed to be for the kids. And I thought that's where she was going to learn the lesson. I actually think that was a missed opportunity because it was so set up.
Yeah.
Right?
And I, for a second when the what do you call it, the crew member leaves and then he comes back with the captain and he tells him like, oh, you don't have money to pay, so we're gonna kick you off the boat.
Yeah. And she never really and she never really learns the lesson. Like the next, I was waiting for it to come, and so I'm waiting for her to learn this lesson that people suck, people are corrupt, and then she starts working in the whorehouse.
Yeah.
There's got to be the brothel.
Sure.
Calling it a whorehouse feels
I mean,
insensitive.
a house where all
Yeah.
the
Yeah, but whore is sort of, I don't like. I loved the line. I don't like the word. It feels derogatory. I loved the line. We are our own means of production. Such a good line.
It was a great line.
Anyway, so I'm waiting for her to learn this lesson, and then she kind of does, but not really in her first couple encounters there. And you think she's going to learn it when the lady who runs the brothel manipulates her by making her feel that if she doesn't do the work, then she can't help that woman take care of her kid.
Yeah.
And the time where she does learn the lesson or she's introduced to the concept is like 5 or 10 minutes later, when the black girl tells her that some men like it when the women don't like it. And especially when we were just talking about how so many of these lessons came directly after the hardship and they connected those pieces. This is one that felt like it didn't sync up appropriately.
Yeah. No, I definitely thought like as the movie progressed and as it started to become what it was, I started to lose interest in it.
Interesting.
Because the moment I realized it's another...
So you're just like fucking... You're like Mark Ruffalo. You like her when she's stupid.
Yeah, I guess so. But I loved her when, towards the end when she like is like, okay, I'm not going to be controlled and all of that. The decisions she makes, great. But when I realized the movie was slowly becoming just like a more... what do you call it? Like a social commentary of like women empowerment. I started to like be like, okay, here we go. Because I don't love like, there's this word for it. It's like something messaging, and it's
Subliminal messaging.
that, I guess. But I just don't like when a movie, and it's not even like the movie uses like uh, points where it's trying to give a social message. I think social message through movies is important, but just the message the movie gives and how it's trying to give it was like really not something I resonated with.
Well, do you think that's because of how they told the message or the message itself?
The whole movie reduces woman empowerment to just ability to express freedom by not only just doing things that she wanted to do, but then they just use sex as the main driving force of like she wants to understand more of this like environment. She learns how to like pleasure herself. Like in the first 22 minutes is when we first see like, oh, like the boob scene. And I know like these scenes always come with like powerful messaging. And I had a similar feeling when I saw the Korean film with Hyun as well. That the moment you just show empowerment through sex, I feel like that negates the target audience that it should be towards, which is like men.
You feel that so if I understand your position correctly, it's not necessarily that you dislike the fact that it was taken a focus on women empowerment. You dislike the fact that it chose to do so through sex because you feel that if it's going to be effective women empowerment, it should be in a way that gets men to respect women more, and this reduced her to just the physical
Yeah,
elements of
yeah,
it. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that's wonderful way of putting it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Is like that whole, oh, like my freedom is only limited to my physical freedom instead of like, when she meets that lady on the boat who's like, oh, she hasn't had sex in like 20
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
She hasn't fucked, right? And then she's like, oh, when I grew up and as I got older, I pay less attention to having sex and physical connections, but more to the mind, right? And I think what we need is like a little bit more, what do you call it, empowerment of like, oh, like intellectual woman. I think like for me, I get more inspired by when they show like more of an intellectual side of women and a stronger intellectual
Well,
depiction.
that's what this was doing. So I agree. I agree very much with the sentiment. And the initial question I asked you was, did you disagree with the messaging or the way that they portrayed the messaging? Because you made the comment about when near the end, when it became very focused around the women empowerment side of things, you started to lose interest. And so I wanted to identify what was about it. And I was going to go on a bunch of tangents with this, but I'm not going to, because I think we in that. Rehash that I gave, I think we agree similarly. And yeah, I think what you said about it targeting the audience it's supposed to, that's the wrong way to do it. The message is pure, but the way they went about it. Now, the reason why I push back a little bit on the sex work thing, and the reason why I like so much the line that they put in there about being their own means of production is because I feel like they also balance and they bring a form of normalcy to I think that world, and that it's okay. She wasn't being forced to do it. She was getting two things out of it that she needed, that she wanted. She wanted money, and she was able to accept the. But in terms of the what you were saying about how the initial part of the film being so focused around the sexual side of things, and 20 minutes in we have that, and then the next like 30 minutes of the movie is just fucking that. 40 minutes of the movie is just that. I don't actually necessarily. I think that falls very much in line with human progression. And if we pair that stage of her life when she is going through sexual exploration, that's kind of what, when you're a teenager, early 20s, you're in college, that's what people are doing. They're exploring themselves, they're exploring their bodies, and they're doing that. And she took the adventure with this guy to do those things. Those were the things that she wanted to do, who her romantic interest at the time wasn't willing to do with her until they got married, right? And so that's why she runs off with him. And then the scene that you identify on the boat with the older woman, that is when she shifts from that into the more intellectual being. And so that becomes less of a focus. Now, then again, I had that thought, but the next 40 minutes of her is working in the brothel. So, but it's her working in the brothel to pursue that next stage, right? It's to work in the brothel to learn a little bit more about people and engage with people. And it's also to save money, to build her future, to escape and move on with her life. And she goes to school and she decides that she wants to be a doctor. And so I think that if we consider the messaging, the avenue they chose to portray that messaging paired with the timeline that felt reasonable for the character, I think it was okay. And I actually think that because you're able to walk away from this recognizing that the main message of the movie was about women empowerment, and you were able to see especially how it ends, you walked away with the right message.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay.
Yeah, but the message gets clear, like, pretty much when this guy shows up, like, what do you call it, Mark Ruffalo? Because all you've had until now is, like, now 3 characters who are just telling her things. And she's, like, a clean slate of, like, not really having experience of the outside. Or even like her inside experience is very limited to just being at home, because outside world is dangerous, and God is like always trying to protect her, being like, oh, outside is like earthquakes and all these things when they're going in the caravan. And even when you see people come in the park where they are in like the background, he's like, oh, we gotta go, there's a storm coming. So he's controlling her. Then the assistant that comes in, he wants to control her as well. Initially from like, oh, I don't even know what this is. Like, she's weird because he sees like the cut, and she's like, oh, what's wrong with this person?
I don't agree with the statement he wants to control her, but go on.
Right. And then he develops a love interest. So he wants to, be like, because she's like, I'm going to go roam around with this dude and travel the world. And he's like, no.
He does try to stop her there. Yeah. I was thinking more at the end when he allows her to be free and go.
And there's something in the end also that happens, which we'll get to.
Sorry, but he wasn't doing that because he didn't want to lose her. He was doing that because he was trying to protect her because he recognized the ill intent of the man.
But that's the thing, like, that's the theme, that he thinks that he needs to advise her to do better.
I'll allow it. You're right.
Right? And that's the control of, like, you don't know what's good for you, so you need a man to tell you, like, hey, don't be with this man's bad, but listen to me because I'm nice. The nudity is what I don't like.
I actually agree. Yeah.
For me, it is always like,
it felt demeaning.
Yeah. It's like,
it was too much.
This is the nudity being there is a criticism for the male gaze.
Yeah.
But then I still have to look at it. And then I'm like, okay, like, I don't know what message you have around it. You just have boobs on screen, and I can watch.
It's kind of like watching porn after you finish. It's like, then you just feel bad for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right? You're like, oh man.
It's like, yeah, I'm not enjoying this anymore.
She's got a kid.
Probably.
2 of them. They haven't.
He's in the background. Isn't she a babysitter?
He's the one holding the camera.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I do think I do think it takes away from it. And, it's really interesting because my first impression was surprised that, Emma Stone had a nude role. To see her then embrace it so wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
My second thought was, who am I to think which I don't fucking know her, so who knows what she's comfortable with,
Yeah.
and good for her for feeling good and comfortable.
Yeah.
But the very subtle amount of nudity that we first see, I felt was the director doing his best to be reserved and respectful. And that was my initial thought. And I thought that was a really good thing. And then, yeah, I agree with you. It became way too focused on that over the next, over the next however long. I mean, it was fucking 35% of the movie that they were fucking, right? And I don't have a problem with like the character arc. I think like she ends up in the situation at the brothel that she does. She ends up with Mark Ruffalo because young naive girl, easy to get manipulated by. And I loved the line that they put in there about I don't think he cares much for what ill comes to me. This is I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I think it will be fun. And so it was like, that's the lesson, right?
Yeah.
Anyone who can see this relationship happening will understand that. So and then she ends up with him, and then she ends up at the brothel because she's naive, and she gets pulled in, and then it's fine and it works for her, and she never gets introduced to alternatives. So it makes sense with the character arc. But I agree from like a storytelling perspective and for a perspective of pushing for women, it was a little much.
Yeah. And maybe just me, but also I was like, okay.
But I can't say I'm a man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's honestly what I always believe. Like, I can have my opinion, but I don't know, right?
But I think we can agree. I think these are important conversations. I think these are important conversations for men to have, and I think we share very similar points where I think we're pretty kind and respectful individuals.
Absolutely.
And we want any woman we come across to feel comfortable, and so. I think it's important that we be able to speak on that. But I also, whenever it's like if I'm going to have any form of commentary on a racial issue or a social issue, just like with the episode, there's a certain degree that I just cannot fully. My experience and my person, to whatever degree, invalidates some of my thought or my opinion or my stance just because of who I am, right? Because there is just so much I can understand. And so I recognize that. And so that's why whenever I enter one of these, it's like, but also I don't know. And I might be entirely wrong. And I hope that what I'm saying right now isn't making it worse. That's ultimately what I really want to get out of. I want to put out there. It's like...
Yeah. That's very interesting because I definitely think we've moved to a society that way where, because for example, like say white privilege, it gets thrown around. It's like, oh, you don't understand this because you had privilege growing up, right? And I agree with it that that's there, but also invalidating somebody's experience and opinions based on their experiences and their upbringing and their, sure, you got a lucky step on the social ladder. That's not always also true, right? And so I think I really hope that we can move towards like a more, like, what you mentioned earlier, that we should be talking about these things, and the only way people will talk more is when there is validation for their opinions, right? Nobody wants to talk to somebody who's always like, nah, you don't get it, dude. You're like, no. Then the job becomes of the person who gets it to be like, this is why you need to understand. But the only way we get there is not by like not talking about it, is like by bringing up the conversation, having those difficult ones, especially for kids coming up these days. Like,
oh, they're so cooked.
they're so cooked. Like,
They're not getting outside information.
they're
They're getting
not
fucking
getting
curated
information from
algorithm.
each other. They're getting on like a curated algorithm. And when I saw this movie, I felt a lot like how on social media they have those red pill guys, who are like, oh, you should never like marry a girl who's had like more than 3 boyfriends, and like women have no character, and their a woman's character is like defined by how many like guys she slept with before you. And it's like those guys who like talk about like on podcasts and stuff, and it's like
I have no idea what you're talking about.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not on social, so it's like, but I can understand the
and it's like a big
general
issue
fucking-
because
what's the yeah, anyway.
red pill dudes.
Is it that's the but it's for the there's this one like alpha male dude, what's his fucking name?
Which one? There's so
Good
many.
point. Good point. Name a couple of the main dudes. I'll know the name when you.
I only know like the alpha was like Andrew Tate.
Yeah, that's yeah.
the
There we go.
bald
That's the
dude,
one
yeah.
I'm thinking of. I didn't even know he was bald. I couldn't picture the fucking guy. But I mean that name's been tossed around, and so red pill. Okay, so
Yeah, pretty much. But then
I should probably know what Andrew Tate looks like.
but then on the other hand, you have people who are like, say, Bonnie Blue, who's like, my whole personality is just about like hooking up with more, as many guys as I can. Like, she's the girl I think who slept with like 1,000 dudes, right? And it's like just this messaging the youth is getting is just not cool, because it's not even like messaging that is designed to be like, oh, this is, and what's weird and sad is like the people who are saying all these things are not even people who might believe it, but it's like, oh, this is good for the algorithm. And then your whole algorithm is just showing you like, videos and shorts of like, dude, yeah, if you don't get up at 6 a.m. and you don't tell your wife in her place, you're not being a real man. And it's like,
The sad thing is like, I know that shit's out there.
yeah.
And there's a lot of people who fucking buy into it.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of fucking people. I mean, the majority of the population voted for Trump. And over 40% still think he's doing a good job. Don't think the things that are happening in America are bad or problems, that people are having their rights stripped away. That they just released the New York Times just finished a report about the people who were sent to the prison in Venezuela, and that they've come back, and the torture and the horrors that they have gone through. And you'll have Trump supporters look at that and say it's a good thing, because we have managed to manipulate their thought and separate them from the other so much that we have managed to dehumanize people to such a fucking degree.
Yeah.
That's the way people are thinking.
Yeah. It's just like how people on the other side were celebrating Charlie Kirk getting shot, where it's like, it's a human being who got assassinated on like live TV.
Yeah.
And as society, we've just like lost compassion that, ruin that family. Because we don't interact with the family next door anymore.
Yeah,
We don't interact with the people who live in our building, who come in our elevators.
Thank fuck for that.
Right.
I'm an anxious. When I get into an elevator,
Don't talk to me.
my anxiety
Don't talk to
level
me.
spikes. I remember, it's interesting because I think about it regularly. My dad, when I would, occasionally I would be sick, and so I would go into the city with him, and I would go to his office, and I always watched him when we would enter an elevator. When we entered the building, he always said hello to the doorman. He would shoot the shit with him for 30, 40 seconds. He would get on the elevator, and anytime we're in an elevator, he would always manage to, in the 30 seconds we're riding it, find a joke to make, find some way to make a comment to the person standing in the elevator, talk to them, get a laugh, get them chuckling, and sending them on their way. And then I went through life, and I never knew how to talk to people, and then we did our job, and we became really good at creating conversation, and then I did it for so long that now I hate human interaction. It just makes me fucking anxious because it's so structured. But I then go back and I watch my dad interact with people, and it's really interesting. So it's incredibly rare. And it seems genuine, but I asked him about it one day. I said, Dad, how do you like doing that? How do you do that? Like, it's always so well done, and they're always happy. You always seem really happy. Do you like it? And he goes to me, I fucking hate it. He says to me, I fucking hate it. But, he leans into it, and he finds a way to love it. And so I've been trying to force myself to enter the state where, like, I want to try and lean into it, but society, and where I'm going with this is, you're right, society has been so changed that we don't talk to our neighbor, we don't interact with people anymore, so that even if I want to lean into it, even if I talk to that person, it's so fucking weird, because they don't know what's going on. It's like, wait, you're breaking the matrix. What do we do?
I was watching this video the other day, and it was about this guy like who approached this lady. It was one of those giving money to strangers thingy, and he just like stopped this lady and just like gave money, and then he did say this line, which is like pretty interesting, that if I was rude to you, you would be much more equipped to respond to that than me being nice to you. And that's literally like, like you see a lot of people like talk about in Vancouver. Like if I look and like give somebody like a smile, they're like, well, that's weird. Why is this guy looking and smiling at me?
Yeah. No. Yes. Go on.
Yeah. No. That is the end of it, and it's like, yeah, I think that whole point of doing that bit is like, okay, you kind of put yourself in that. This is gonna turn out to be good or bad, but it's like, just becomes like a habit. Oh, like when you go, like say for example, when you walk out the bus, you say thank you. Right, because you see other people like do it, and you're like, okay, this is like a nice thing to do, right? So you pick on these like nice individual habits, then that become like social habits. And the moment you go to like more remote places, you still have that warmth feeling that the local grocery store guy behind the counter is gonna chat up to you whenever you come there. He's like, hey, what's life? What's going on?
And you know what? Here's the interesting thing that I think. I think the majority of people, it's like, so I'll preface this with, we're so incredibly polarized as a society, but I think like most of us are actually really not that polar opposite from each other. I think like a lot of us kind of fall into the general same, like, okay, you think certain things, I think certain things, but we kind of fucking agree on what it is to just be a decent fucking human.
Hell yeah.
Right? And I think one of the things about this movie that they play into really well is they make the issues of society blatantly obvious and detestable. Like, it's like, you're right, this is the thing that happens. It's so simple. It's so stupid. And I fucking hate that about people.
Yeah.
And then you have her of the person who is raw and has been has not yet been turned into a cynical asshole and become jaded by the world, but is also the person I think we see in ourselves for most of us. And so you've got these polar opposites in the film in the same way I think that we do in the world. And I agree. I think like if we spend more time talking to fucking people, talking to each other, we'd see that we're just not so fucking...
Yeah. And I think that's the main thing. Just like what you said in the beginning was like, oh yeah, we need to have like conversations about anything, maybe as cringy as like...
Just send...
Literally. And
How you finish that sentence tells me what side of the what side of the spectrum you're on.
yeah, it's gonna find. It's gonna tell me if I'm gonna end this
Government support.
conversation. It's gonna tell me if I'm gonna want to continue this conversation at all.
What's your favorite color?
Color. Dude, talking about colors.
I meant red or blue, by the way.
Huh?
I meant red or blue.
Nah, dude, you gotta go green.
Green party? Anyway.
What is this thing? Oh, yeah, talking about colors. There's so many awesome colors in this movie. Great set design. I think the whole idea of like using like practical effects instead of just VFX everywhere, it was like super cool. Do you wanna guess how much the movie cost?
Cost? Oh, fuck. With that cast? Oh, I have no idea, man. That number's way too high. I was going to say like 120. I don't think it's that. 45?
Yeah. 35?
35? Yeah.
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 Yeah. I think it made around like
That sounds
120
reasonable.
million.
Yeah.
Total.
Wow. Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. It should have. I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
A
And
theater release? When was it made?
yesterday was, I think, the anniversary. It was like
1 year? It's
no 2023, 2 year.
2 year. 2 year.
Yeah,
Cool.
but December 8th.
Yeah. Any awards?
Yeah, I think Emma Stone got like best actor.
Did she?
For
I want to
this?
look that up because
Yeah.
watching it, I wanted to know.
Yeah, they would have like a movie like this. This is what I call an Oscar bait.
There's a whole second
Row.
part of text that I can't see because of the way they present it here. Academy Award for Best Production Design. So like, yeah, that's an example. Like all I can see is Academy Award for Best Product.
Yeah.
So it's, you know.
Well, what website is this?
Oh, this is just, I typed it into
just on
Google,
Google?
and so
Okay,
the way they're presenting it is shit. Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture. Wait, Golden Globe?
Yeah, Golden Globe. It's an Academy. It's not like the Academy Award. Like I think Academy Award is usually the Oscar.
Yeah, aren't
But
they supposed to be Oscars?
No, they also have Golden Globe Awards.
What's the difference?
They're just different trophies.
I feel like I should. Well, yeah.
But that's pretty much it. In my understanding, I'm pretty sure like one is like you have like BAFTA, which is like the British something film and TV, and yeah, I don't exactly know the intricate details that make them different.
Yeah. Nor do I.
But I always find them unique because every time the Oscars or anything happen, I never watch. But I always watch the movies that got nominated for the best film and realize how many of the movies that are there I don't know about. And
Yeah.
and my first impression when I saw this movie was like, I'm too stupid for a movie like this.
I felt the same. Oh fuck.
This is like, you know, when like I don't know, like I don't even know different types of pastas. Like, I know pasta and pasta. Yeah, but it's
Let
like
the waiter decide.
ravioli and spaghetti and then whatever.
Tortellini and
Yeah.
cavatelli.
Right? So I don't even know that. And so like I definitely saw this movie and I like now when people ask me what your favorite movie is, this I'm gonna like sophisticated. Yeah, the Poor Thing themes, man.
Poor Thing. Yeah. Did you know it won a BAFTA?
Yeah.
What you should watch is not necessarily the Oscars, but you should watch every fucking Ricky Gervais
Speeches.
speech
his
for the
hosting.
Oscars.
Oh, dude.
Aren't they great?
So good.
Oh shit.
Oh, I just saw this really awesome Ricky Gervais show. It's called Idiot Man Abroad. And and it's got.
Oh, is it with his friend Carl Pilkington?
Yeah, and they send him to like different places, and it's so funny, man. It is so hilarious.
It looks a little stupid.
It is.
It is, but yeah.
It is. And then he did this another, I think it's like a 20-minute show, just like learning English.
Yeah, that I've seen.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's so funny, dude.
Funny. But I don't love the. I want to know to what degree the other guy is in on it, or if he's actually just. I can't imagine he's actually that stupid. I can't, or oblivious. Like, he's obviously got to be fucking in on it.
Yeah.
They sell it as a character, and I think he is. Yeah. But
also the concerns he has often are like pretty understandable. Like, he comes to India and this guy is like, "Oh, you'll come and stay with me," and then he brings him to this like storefront which is smaller than the space we have in this living room, and there's like the front of it, he's like cooking food and selling it, and back in the back he's just got like one, not even basically like a thin twin size mattress on the floor, and he's like, "We'll sleep here." Or he'll like go into the toilet and he's like, "Oh, I only got the squatter potties," which is like you sit down on the floor and you squat and do it. And he's like, "I'm not gonna survive on this." So what makes that show, I think, that so funny is like it's so relatable, you know. And he's like, "Oh, they made
if you're
like
a fucking idiot."
Yeah, and it's like you. He makes all these like jokes which are like super hilarious. He's like gone to, I think, Egypt to go see the pyramids, and he's like, "Oh, I've been called with these guys who teach meditation," and so he goes to this house and they start teaching him meditation, right? And while they're teaching him meditation, the whole like the prayer thing that I think Islam is the right word, or Muslims, they have it that like every day it goes on. No, wow, no,
go on. Right? I don't have the word on the tip of my head.
And because I used to, we have that in India as well, you know, it just goes on and then it's just there. And so he's like, "Well, doing this while this is going on is hard." And then he's like, "Oh, I'm sure like when property dealers come and show you the house, it's like they choose specific timings."
Yeah, probably do.
Right.
Though, but you know Philomena Kunk?
What did he say?
You've seen Afterlife?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know the redhead?
Yeah.
And so she does these interviews. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be really smart to pretend to be that dumb. To ask such a specific question.
Oh, yeah.
That's like so fucking on the money. Like, she's really intelligent, so that's where the humor is. And so when I look at Carl Pilkington, I look at all these the interactions between the two, it's like something just feels off. Like, it doesn't feel.
He's not good. Like a dud. Like, he's like, he has a full established career, and he's like a big comedian.
It's a whole thing, but
right?
that's his shtick.
Yeah, that's the whole shtick where you put him in like these, you know, like unnatural occurrences, where it's like when the first season is like what do you call it, like the 7 wonders of the world, and then the second season is like specific experiences, and dude, you just nailed it. Like, I heard Tom Segura also talk about it, where it's like when you have somebody who's really dumb in a movie, that guy needs to be extremely smart to act so dumb, because the people who are just dumb, they don't really know the difference.
Yeah, they don't.
Right.
They don't. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing. I heard. I think it was. I want to say Al Pacino, but don't quote me on that. They were talking about portraying drunk. Like being drunk on film. And I think the person who was interviewing him had commented on one of his performances and said, you know, "You did such a good job. How did you do it? What did you do? Did you get drunk going into that?" And he's like, the thing about when you're trying to act drunk on film, people go and they try and act drunk. But when you're really drunk, you don't think you're really drunk. You think you're sober. And so you are always trying your best to act sober, and so that's kind of what he did. And I thought that was
that's genius.
Yeah.
Dude, he's Al Pacino. Like, there's like ability to do such a good job. I was amazed by Mark Ruffalo's acting.
Yeah, really, really, really good.
So good.
I agree.
Right? I was like, when he comes and brings the husband in the end, I was like, dude, that's such a low blow.
Oh, yeah.
Because it comes up when they're on the boat and the lady comes and says, oh, Victoria, how have you been?
Yeah.
And
You knew that was going to come up again.
right? I was like, whoa, they brought this up. I wasn't sure this was going to come. That husband coming in actually got me by surprise.
Well, I knew her past life was going to catch up to her. I didn't know the husband. I didn't expect husband.
Yeah, there's the whole scenario of how the movie was going. I didn't expect.
Really? That's interesting. You've got a reanimated woman who he's trying to hide from fucking society, and you don't think that's going to come back into play?
No, I mean, she jumped.
In the same fucking town.
Yeah. Which is like,
well, it's London, but the city,
right? It's
but
like,
okay.
I don't know what.
And then they call her out by her original fucking name halfway through the movie, and you don't think that's gonna come back again?
No, it's like doppelgangers, you know. Oh, you look You look like my friend.
That's like the most fucking. Of course, it has to happen anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I guess I've.
You got to learn about her past.
Yeah. And then. That was also funny to see, like, oh, the husband was also like super controlling.
Yeah.
He had this like really funny dialogue, which is like, and then I have to take out the gun. She says like she's not gonna like, stay in, and she's gonna move and travel wherever she wants to.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, then they always say that, and then I have to use the gun.
I have to use the gun.
Like,
yeah.
Such a crazy dialogue. What do you think? Because you've seen the Rotten Tomato scores.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like...
92 critic, 80 audience.
Yeah. So do you feel like that's justified?
I think it is a very... seeing that score, processing it, thinking about the movie. I don't know, because I saw it, I don't know what I would have guessed. But I think it was spot on to what I would have expected. In the sense of, not to what I would have expected, but it makes sense. Like, when I look at that score and I think of this movie, and I think of how I think of Rotten Tomatoes and how I feel like scores generally represent the film I'm about to see, it makes sense. It lines up, I think, very, very well. So yes, I think 92, 80 audience, spot on. I'm fucking okay with it.
This movie is just not for me. I'm very happy I saw it.
This movie's not for you.
Yeah. I'm very happy I saw it.
Well, you said you lost interest at the end.
Yeah. Like, I don't think... There's like I see a like, I don't know, expensive wine, like I get
an expensive vine.
Yeah,
like the 7-second videos.
No, like
a wine.
Yeah. Get your head out of the gutter. I thought you just had a charcuterie bowl. But yeah, I just like I get it. And maybe that is like, there's like developed taste for it. But
it's a little artsy.
Yeah, I just want that $10 wine that tastes bad and, like help me forget a memory. And so I just felt like this movie was a lot than I want from movies I like to watch. But if it was
Holmes and Watson.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's like, you want to show me Victorian era, show me Holmes and Watson.
But you also recommended that Dave Patel movie, which is a much more serious, like, and I really want to watch it.
Yeah.
It looked really good.
Yeah. That is, again, like one of those, like, because again, like, I'm not trying to restrict myself from not
watching those.
Watching these. And I always say this, like, no matter how the movie is, at least watch it once so you develop your own taste for it. And the Dave Patel thing also, like, I only saw that movie because it was like an Oscar nomination, and I was like, I had to have no idea what these movies are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick one of them. I picked up Lion because it was like a lot of people talked about it, and it's got a nice warm story as well. But I felt a lot more connected in that story, maybe because it has like touches of like, oh, he's Indian, and it's a little bit about India, and you get to like develop a little bit of a connection. But this movie, I said in the beginning, was like reading
writing an essay,
like a play.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know,
It was fair, yeah.
when I was in 11th and 12th doing IB, I used to like read The Doll's House, and that was pretty much what this is, where it's like, oh, like you have this girl who's being conformed to behave like a doll in a house, and she has all these restrictions and clothes. But I think these movies are important because they do start the conversation. The acting was absolutely amazing by all of them, like William
the writing,
Dafoe.
the score.
Ooh, the writing, especially who is it?
Exceptional writing.
So it is based on a book
Yeah.
by the same name, which was written by Alasdair Gray. So do you want to give him the credit because he's the guy who came up with the story?
But that's not necessarily the same to. Did he do the writing on the film?
No.
Yeah, because writing a screenplay is a lot different than writing. You know, you can take the writing of a book, but also I have to imagine they probably extracted a lot of very clever like wording, and I can see where the like writing of a book would actually translate really well into this.
I think her style of talking per se.
Yeah. So they're gonna get a lot of that, and the kind of the wit that's behind it all.
Yeah,
exactly. I think so.
And
that makes sense.
Emma Stone was also the producer for this movie. Cool. So she really wanted to do this. Yeah. So the writer is Tony McNamara. And
I have to imagine it was fun to act. I had that thought a number of times when I was watching her like break plates and shit. It's like, this has to be fun.
So fun, right? Like breaking plates, just the dance choreography also was like so
really,
nice.
really well done.
And I think this is a personal reason why I guess I was not happy watching Emma Stone naked. Was like, I love Emma Stone, right? And she's got, I think, out of a lot of the actors that are there, female actors, she's got one of the best facial expressions, and her ability to convey an emotion through her face, just so much. And watching her in this movie was so fun to like her behavior, her reaction. Even when she later on in the movie, she gets like, oh, she's like serious now, and then she's like, I know what I want to do, and oh, you're gonna stop me, goes and shoots him, and then throws chloroform on his face. And just she's such a cool, wholesome person. And it was kind of like seeing your dad naked, which we kind of
thanks for putting that into my head on my Tuesday. You dick.
but it's like that. It's like you don't want to ever do that.
No, there's nothing like that.
Right? So yeah, for me, watching episode naked was like doing that. It's like, I don't want this. This is scarring me.
But I know kind of what you mean.
Like I had, what do you call it? I had paternal feelings towards her. Not sexual ever.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, usually there's the comment you made about not necessarily being in the mood for this type of movie. I'll go with the other one first. So you've seen Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Simple Jack, and then like at some point in the film, they're like, you just went a little too retard, or maybe I don't know. I shouldn't have said.
No, I mean
retard. And I mean, there's a lot of words that I think we should take out of society, but
this is not the one.
Well, I don't. I never use it, but I don't feel like being persecuted for referencing. I say that referencing a film. Unsure if that's the exact word. Fear of persecution. Like, have we really come there in fucking society? Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, how do you describe a guy who you've told that, hey, dude, I'm recording my podcast. Can you not play loud music? And then he continues to play loud music. That's the word.
So whenever I watch, in the first 5 minutes of this movie, I wasn't sure how I felt about Emma Stone doing it because I wasn't sure where on the spectrum of going a little too far or not doing it well enough. And maybe it's because it was too far, maybe because it wasn't right. But as she progressed, looking back, I think it was really okay. But I didn't love the first 5 minutes of her being like, when she was as as could be.
Yeah.
There was something about watching it that just made me a little uncomfortable. I don't know if it was just like the acting made me uncomfortable or what. I think she did a really good job, but it's something about just felt almost a little forced or unnatural. I don't know. But as the movie continued, that dissipated very quickly. So the thing you say about, this movie is not junk food. Right. This movie is like, it's like a fine wine. Yeah, I think that's well said. And there's what I refer to as a film. And I wouldn't actually refer to this per se as a film. I think this is in the medium of like a film and a movie combined. Like, this is a movie in the style of a film, but it is still very much like a movie, or what I would classify as a movie. But it's like a more of an artistic movie. Like, they're really trying to make like a good quality movie, like an Oscar bait kind of. Like, they're trying to make an Oscar-worthy movie. They're putting a lot of attention to detail. They're trying to make it beautiful. They're trying not to just rely on a high budget and fancy effects. Like, they're doing a lot there. But you should, I think, delve into the category of films occasionally. And I will say this, I very similarly am rarely in the mood for a film, and sometimes I'll be with someone one of my girlfriends really liked films, and that's all they wanted to watch. And sometimes it's like, can't we just like watch Iron Man or something? Right? Like, why do we always have to watch like one of these super intense but every single one of them was a great 2.5 hour experience. Walked away saying, really amazing. You know how my dad puts it? They left an impression on me. I can remember every single one of those fucking films. I can remember how I was feeling when I watched every single one of them. But how many times have I watched a movie on fucking Netflix these days, and then a day later, I forget what happened. I forget the movie entirely. And so, you know what? I tell you what, in a month, you're going to think of this film, and you're going to remember exactly how you felt. You're going to remember how it impacted you, and it's going to leave an impression on you. Yeah. And
no, I definitely agree. I think movies like these are made with that idea. Like, it's... And you know what you mentioned in the beginning when we started the episode? It's not an easy one to comment on. It's not one you can comment on by just watching it once. Right? I think watching it multiple times, picking on different things, and then also understanding more of the core concepts, I think, of the movie. And I agree. Like, movies like these are the ones that, you're in the bus and now you're like thinking about, like, saw that scene, this happened, this was nice, right? Otherwise, it's like, okay, brain dead.
And think of how many different places this movie, and how many different places of conversation this movie has brought us. Where so many others haven't. Like, so much of our commentary, I think, of other podcasts has been like so focused on like the just kind of what happened in the movie and like different lines and like, but talking about a line in the movie doesn't feel like doing it justice. Like, what did it make you think about?
Yeah.
What did it make you relate to? How
Did
did
it
it make you
spark
feel?
something?
Yeah, and like, what are they portraying? What's the meaning behind this? So you really there's so much more to it, right? There's so much
Absolutely.
more substance, right?
Yeah.
You want to kind of delve into those things, and so it was very nice. So I'm curious. So you seem to have a general degree of like respect, I think, for the film. But you also, I think you're going to give this like a 6.
That's a really good guess. Wow. Let's guess my guesses correctly.
Yeah, my last two I got. Was it a 6?
For this one?
Yeah.
No, it was a 5.
Well, that's not correct.
I mean,
5,
but
really?
+1, -1.
I had
That's
half
okay.
a thought of 5. Yeah, sure, with a 1 or but 5 is low. 5?
Yeah.
5?
Yeah.
Fuck you, 5.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Everything you've said about the movie is good so far.
Okay. So
I sounded like Marge from The Simpsons.
for all the Spotify listeners or new guests.
5?
Yeah. Okay. So the main reason
Fuck you.
is I'm stupid. I know nothing. I don't know if we can say the R word or not. It's like you cannot, but in 2023 this movie was. I don't know if all the themes, like I wrote it down. I kid you not. I was trying to like understand and study more about this, but it's like self-discovery, coming of age, bodily autonomy and sexual liberation, science and creation, shame and morality, how this was like a feminist version of the Frankenstein story. There are a lot of themes that can be unpacked.
Mm-hmm.
But primarily when I sit down to watch a movie, I just don't want to.
I agree.
I'm like,
I don't want to fucking...
if I could think these things without this, I would be really happy. But I came here to be entertained.
Yeah. And I think you can think those things. I mean,
Yeah.
You weren't stupid.
Yeah.
I
mean, we did think these
but
things.
I agree. It's like, yeah, and yes, we have. And like, if we could probably take each of those categories and then
Yeah.
have a conversation about it for an hour. But I don't want to fucking do that. I just don't fucking care enough.
Yeah, and
That's not why I'm here. There are other mediums, or it's kind of like, for me it's very similar to when I go to a museum, right? I'm looking at art. I actually listened to a really interesting interview. I think it was with Ezra Klein and Brian. Oh no, it was Ezra Klein and Patti Smith. I think it was Patti Smith is her name. And he was talking about how she's an artist and she's always been really moved by art. And she knew that she wanted to be an artist from a very young age because she went to a museum and she saw this piece of art and it moved her. And she knew in that moment she was going to be an artist in any of its forms. And Ezra Klein, who is a very highly respected intellectual, he responds to this with, I live in New York. I've been in the moment dozens of times, and I have never once looked at a piece of art and been moved by it. Right now, I have actually been moved by a couple pieces of art, but I never want to look at a piece of art and go, what's the meaning behind this? I just do not. I want to sit there and appreciate it. But my form of appreciation for that art is almost never what's the meaning behind it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because I'm not smart enough, or I'm not intellectual enough, or I don't know enough about the world, or I haven't been loved enough. I don't know what it is, but it's like when I think, it's just like, I don't want to fucking do that. That's not why I'm here. So I agree with you. I don't want to. It's not why I'm here.
Yeah.
Right. So give me the fucking junk food sometimes.
And you know what was really funny, and I think if anybody listens to our podcast, they might really hate me for this.
Shout out to you, bro. How you doing?
Right. But it's the whole movie is about women independence
Mm-hmm.
and them and her being like the token of being like, we fight society restrictions, we fight society structure, we make our own space, we are means of our own production, right?
Mhm.
We're the one who changes our lives. Then when she shoots the guy in the foot, who does she call?
Ghostbusters.
Oh man.
He was a doctor.
She calls the assistant when she shoots the husband in the end, right? At the end,
and so
then,
and so
she's
he's
like,
serving
do the
her.
surgery before he bleeds out. And I was
yeah.
like, no,
Interesting.
no. You almost did it.
Almost.
If
No, but that's the point, right? Like she overcame, and now so she's become her own, and so now the man, she's no longer subservient to men.
yeah, but then she should have done the surgery. And I'm not. I'm just digging.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just picking on it because I thought that was like hilarious.
Sure.
Because the moment she shot her, she like, oh, sir.
Yeah. Well, sure. Why not?
Yeah, and that's pretty funny. But I love that whole idea of like animals being like chicken head with dog.
Yeah. What were the ones we saw? We saw like man goat. We saw pig.
It's like James
chicken,
Cameron making the Avatar.
Dog chicken. Not quite, but okay. I see what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the animals were really good.
Yeah, it was like ducks and all.
A 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to give a separate score, which is I'm going to ask you to give a critic score. So 5 is your audience score in this case. And what would you rate this movie as a movie that is one that you recognize as being something of quality?
I think 5. The only reason 5 is there.
Fuck you. Give me that eraser back.
The only reason 5 is there is for the idea that the movie on its own was like remove all the meaning and everything. The movie was awesome. Like the 5 that I gave was for the acting by all the actors. Like the assistant is a comic.
But 5 is low.
Yeah, but all the other parts of like story and everything, I didn't enjoy, and so I'm not gonna give parts there. Like the. But
do you think they? But oh, go on.
Yeah, the 5 I have is there mainly. Like I had zero fun watching this movie because this movie made me think about things, and I don't want to think. I want to be like, feed me info.
Man, we're good for this because we are so fucking polar opposite on these things.
And so. Yeah, I saw the movie. I was like, holy shit. Costumes, fantastic. Locations, I think they've made the stages in like Hungary. Where I think they should bring production back to here. And I think governments here need to do something to make it more attractive to make movies here that are about like... Here, I mean, I guess that is based in Europe or like, but just like shoot movies here, you know, like that gets more jobs for people here.
Yeah. They do a lot of filming in Canada.
Yeah, but it's still like the tax incentives you get are quite good, but like a lot of places like Australia and all, they make it so much better. So like, I was listening to this podcast about like, like people are not able to shoot in LA. Because of the tax incentives not being there, so they have to like go to like Australia or something over the summer. I guess winter is here, summer is there, right? But yeah, I had a good time, and it was like everything but fun. And for me, the thing that matters the most in a movie is A, entertainment, B, fun, which means if I'm going to watch it again, and C, the acting, and then D, I guess at the end of everything, I would be like, oh, what was like it's like, I don't know if you've seen this. Wow, this is the second time I'm talking about him. Jaden Smith, he has that video of, he's like on this podcast, and he's like, oh, all the kids, of my age are like, "Rub, rub, 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 rub." Can we talk about the socio and economic state of our country?
Well, probably should.
Right? And I'm like the guy who's like, yep, yep, yep. 'Cause, yeah. For me, its main goal is entertainment. And then I guess that, thinking about, but then I would just want to do that thinking in the movie and then kind of be done. But then also I agree, like there are points where you watch a movie and you're like thinking about it because it has that everlasting effect. But this movie just didn't for me.
So I want you, but that's so everything you just said there though is like your audience score. So that's what your experience was. But when I ask you to think independently of the writing, how do you feel the writing was?
Great.
When I ask you to think independently of the acting, you said the acting was great.
Fantastic.
The set design.
Mind-blowing.
The
super real.
Pacing.
Yeah. Actually, I had a question about it, but come back to me.
The story and the theme.
Yeah.
The characters.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So, okay, you gave really good on 4 out of 6 of those, and so I ask you those questions to think about them independently. I want you to think of analyze the parts of the movie itself separate from like your experience watching it. What would you rate the degree of quality of all the elements of a film that went into making this movie? If you say 5, I swear to God.
No, I mean, if you're just looking at like...
Yeah, critique it as a critic, as someone who is there for all of that shit. Not just there for the guns and the furious jumping.
I could go for 8 or 9 being like, this is what an ideal film should have. This is the quality benchmark on things. And I agree with that. But do I feel that when all of those things that I do individually like brought together make a product that I would score high, even as a critic? No. As a critic, my opinion would still be like, individually all those things that you mentioned were there and I appreciate those and I think they were really well done, but together in unison,
Yeah.
wow, I'm getting good at these words.
Now tell me it in French.
Unison.
I appreciate the try.
Is like the complete picture when everything is tied together is not there for me.
That's very interesting. And you know what? To each their own. I think that's fine. I mean, I disagree purely for the sake of, if I'm looking at it, not necessarily having to like it, but to appreciate it. I think that's kind of the answer I was hoping for was one that would rate it higher because of recognition of the quality and attention and care. And I think like, I don't necessarily have to... I'm trying to think of a movie. But to enjoy something in full, to be able to recognize it as being something of quality substance. And when I see... I think someone such as Yorgos Lanthimos, I think, is a really good example of a director. And who did the Grand Budapest Hotel?
I don't know.
He did The Master as well. He's done a few. There's a few.
Oh, is that the guy who does like a lot of like colorful shots?
He does Paul Thomas Anderson. Yeah, and
Anderson films, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a person who makes, and similar to Lanthimos, makes these very unique films, right? They're very unique directors in the way that they stylistically approach a film. And so I think like, and
And
I
the way
don't
they tell their story
particularly.
also, it's
Pardon?
like the way they tell their story also is a signature to them, right? Like this guy I saw, like he has a movie that came out this year, like in 2025 called Bugonia,
Yeah,
which
you
is got
mentioned. Yeah.
Emma Stone, and essentially from the trailer, what I understand is like this guy kidnaps this like uh, really successful business lady, and
Ooh.
then it's her story. I think is her relationship with this kidnapper. I don't know how it would go, but then watching this movie really gives me a perspective on how the director works,
Mhm.
what his way of telling a story is, right? Like it's like when you watch a Michael Bay movie,
Mhm.
you know what you're in for.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
and yeah,
And so yeah, like not my cup of
not your
tea,
cup of tea.
right?
So I have you seen? We need to talk about Kevin.
We need to talk about Kevin. No.
Have you seen? It's another one of his, The Lobster.
No. I
Have
have
you
a terrible
seen?
taste, man.
Have you seen The Killing of a Sacred Deer?
No.
Also one of his. Have you seen Vivarium with Jesse Eisenberg? So, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you to watch one of these movies.
Okay.
And I want you to. This movie isn't quite in that same vein. They're weird and unique in this, but those movies that I just listed are movies that like start and you can immediately tell are like different. They're kind of like thrillers, and they're kind of like, what the fuck am I? This is just weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's the best way I can describe it, and I know it's not a very not very detailed, but I'm gonna recommend you watch maybe one of these movies, and because I think it's just about my favorite type of movie.
Yeah. It's I see those movies like those are like I guess film school movies. Not like oh this is like quality of like a film school, but more so like this is a movie that they used to teach in film school.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like say
Yeah.
when they introduce William Defoe,
Yeah.
right? The camera just shows his back and then it just like pans and then it turns around and then it kind of slowly shows his face, right? Or just like one thing I'm reading these days about is composition in film, about like oh we have like a subject here and then we'll keep like the rest of the 75% of the frame empty, and so just like feeling isolated. And a few of those like techniques they use in films, because it's directors like this one that you know like there are people who play music, there are people who are what do you call it, like are in a band and are famous, and there are people who create music. And it's like when you're so good in your art form that now you're the one who's creating standard for the industry, that oh like I'm gonna use this camera angle, or and then other people will just try to use this one way of shooting a scene in their film to kind of get the audience. And it's I often feel about like that scene where I don't know which movie I was watching. It was a Russo brothers action movie. It's got Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. It's like a spy movie. He's like supposed to be like part of this spy agency that's gone rogue, and then they hired this guy, Chris Evans, to hunt him. But all they had was like every time they showed a location, they had the drone. They had a drone shot, which is the drone flying up.
Yeah.
And you'll see that sometimes directors will try to overdo
Hardcore Henry.
Sure, Hardcore Henry is one of the reasons I love Hardcore Henry is it's a signature. It's like a risk. I love a risk taker. And so these movies then become like standard for like, oh, what works, what doesn't. And for sometimes directors, when they do have the resources and they're making their movie or they're part of a project, they'll experiment. Oh, we're going to make 10 drone shots here, which is like just like a B tier movie that we're making.
Mm-hmm.
And then out of those 10 shots, one of them we see in our focus groups that, oh, the audience really loved it. Then when we do like a big actual project that we're actually putting our eggs in the basket, then we're going to use this specific shot.
Mm-hmm.
Or you'll see something that Christopher Nolan does in his movies, and then other directors try to replicate, not shot for shot, but like a little bit of a comparison.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, for example, when you see a villain introduced, they'll show him oftentimes like the car comes park, the car's dark, you don't see him. You see like a top view. You see the trailer, so you know who it is, but you don't really know. And then he comes out, the door opens, only his feet pop out, and then it pans up to him. Somebody would have come up with that idea to do it the first time. And that's, I think, this director who like just like, I'm gonna create, I'm so comfortable in doing this. And I think that's a big thing that I saw in this film is like comfort.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I wouldn't necessarily classify him as one of the ones who are really pushing the envelope from like a necessarily like compositional standpoint. For some of the things that you described there, he does a lot where he creates these really like crazy fucking worlds, like these fantastical worlds, and you saw a lot of it in this, and you saw a lot of it in like Frankenstein, and he also did this horror series. I believe he did the horror series. No, that's no, I think actually Frankenstein isn't Lanthimos. Frankenstein is Guillermo del Toro, who does a lot of these like fantastical worlds like him. He does a lot of these like really weird, like creepy types of films.
Yeah.
Ones that do a lot of so I can't off the top of my head think of people who do weird compositions, but I very much agree with you when I find a shot where it's like, whoa, that's fucking new.
Yeah.
Who came up with that? Like, that's really, really cool. I remember I saw one a couple months ago where it was like a woman driving through just the forest, and then it goes to the top of the screen, and so she's driving through the forest, but it's up here. I'm like, that's so fucking cool. And when you were saying that, I was thinking of it's unfortunate that I forget because I really wanted to comment on it. Wasn't composition, storytelling,
Shots.
fuck me.
No.
I have no idea. I have no idea where I was going with that. Son of a bitch. I found it really interesting. But you're right. The compositional style and people pushing the envelope and taking those
So let me ask you this.
Cut all of that out.
No, fuck no, dude. This is authentic, you know.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want that in there.
Yeah, Bella.
Bella. You know what? That scene in the trailer almost stopped me from watching the movie.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
scene got you. I was like, that's so funny, Bella.
No, because it made me think it was like a bit of a different vibe. Anyway, what were you gonna ask?
Yeah, I saw it because I was like, oh, this is like a romantic story, and he's like fighting for Bella.
Interesting. Yeah.
But he just like lost all his money, which by the way, I would be pissed too. After winning everything in poker.
some of their interactions were just so wonderful.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I wanted to ask, because the story as it goes, it jumps so many locations. There's so many like themes and colors and visuals thrown at you.
Mm-hmm.
Did that at all affect how you perceived like the flow of the story? Was that like distracting?
Yeah, you know what? I like that question because when movies do this type of thing, I do find that to be the case sometimes. And I find like, I found like the there was such a stark difference sometimes between what felt like the jovial, like freedom and innocence and kind of just like rawness of the character compared to the extremes of the set and this really like lavish, over the top, extravagant and refined world. And it was just like, it did kind of take me out of it. Now, and when movies try to do this, sometimes I'm like, all right, it's a little try hard and it's just not done very well. I don't feel that about this movie, and I think that's maybe because of the way that it set the tone. I think it sets the tone very well in the black and white, and then it's weird, right? The whole movie's just fucking weird from the start, and so you kind of get that, and then, it transitions into color. And I don't know, I think I was just like so gripped by the character and by the story that I wanted to see where it was going. And but I don't love it. It didn't take me out of it. It didn't ruin the flow per se. And even though they like chunk it up, this is the Lisbon chapter, and this is that didn't ruin the flow. But I just didn't really like the sets. I thought they were impressive. I thought it was a cool decision, but I didn't like it. It was too fake for me,
Yeah, it was too, what do you call it? Out of like a fairy tale.
Yeah, fantastical.
Yeah. And I agree, because that was an issue for me, that I got like, oh, I'm enjoying this thing, and then boom.
Yeah,
completely different. And then I was like, but I was enjoying that.
There are times I thought it was really cool, like when they show the ship on the water.
Yeah.
Like, and cool.
Yeah.
Cool. It kind of felt, and you know what? It felt like when they show the suffering, place of suffering, it felt very much like the set of a play at a theater. This really did feel like a play, honestly.
Yeah.
It felt like a play.
I think that is a really good way to look at it. I think if you look at it as a play, and that makes so much more sense of like, okay, these are different acts that happen between it, and these acts are just like their own stories and different levels of, what do you call it, development that Bella is going through. And each stage like teaches her something more and more to make her a normal human being, basically,
quote unquote.
Quote unquote. And I also enjoyed like the writing, which we were talking about. Like I had a few dialogues that I wrote down, which were one of them which I really liked, which was I think this is like kind of like a great philosophy too. It is the way it is until a better way is discovered, and then that is the way it is until a better way is discovered. And it's like, that's really nice, and that's a very scientific way of thinking, of like always growing and improving your research.
Yeah, totally. I really like that one. Do you have one? I want to hear the rest, but it's fresh on my mind. Do you have one about the I think she has a line about like the flaws of people, the flaws of humans.
Flaws of humans.
Tell me what you have.
I don't have that. I had what the guy says, that improvement through philosophy is people trying to run away from the fact that we are cruel beasts. That's really nice.
Do you have the one of, if I stick a cucumber in me?
No.
Oh.
Dude, what are you watching?
That happens at the table.
There was one in the beginning with God and the assistant, where he asked him like, are you like a religious man? And he's like, I believe in a God. And he's like, me or the DT? Like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, but then they play on. There was another really interesting dialogue, I think, about religions and spirituality. I can't go on.
Yeah, that is it. Then I also wrote like found it pretty funny. I think I'm gonna use it. What a very pretty R word, retard, and what a
Yeah,
pretty moron.
yeah.
And that was like such a funny way of to say like an insult to somebody. What a pretty annoying person.
Yeah.
Right. And I think just like that very pretty can be something that really pisses off the other person. You're such a pretty asshole.
Yeah.
I love I think things I would have wanted to see more in this movie was the actual value for love, because she does
Yeah.
bring it up with him, where like the empirical value for love, and then
Practical, the
because she
practical
starts
loving
very
that they have.
distant from it,
Yeah.
where she's like, oh, I'm getting engaged to you, shut up, let me go around the world and fuck this dude, because he does something in my body which I don't know what this is and I want to keep enjoying it. Then she goes with him and realizes, dude, sex is not everything. You know, there's more to life to enjoy. And then she does that, and then she's like, I think my God was correct. Like, just stay in a lab and do research and be medical. And she also, just funny to see how in that Victorian era, people used to just like show up and cut human beings open and teach them in like an open setting, and like, yeah, this is the liver and this is the part of the brain that does this, and just no sense of like safety and like hazards of like cleanliness, just use his hands of like playing with the liver.
Well, the science wasn't there. We didn't know. Yeah, I agree. I didn't like the loving relationships in this movie. I very much did not like. The love was a completely removed from this film.
Yeah,
Like I indicated a bit like through the men and the love that they feel, and that they missed her and everything, and then the dad kind of loves her, but yeah, I agree. I would have liked more of that.
also like God's whole story, like Godwin Baxter, dude, his dad was so insane. His dad, a man of science, was like castrated him.
Yeah.
Right, took out his like needed organs so he can't like to make gas. He like makes those bubbles.
I have to say, every fucking little the Willem Dafoe's character, and they pop back to him for like these 3-minute scenes, and they give him like one line, but it's an incredibly crafty line that is just so well done and well portrayed by him. And there was something about his like tonality and like
demeanor.
Yeah, his demeanor was very jovial and almost like enlightened, but it was so like correct. Like it was just right. Like what he said, it was like
cool skill, right? Because like say he gets the dialogues and the director like, oh, I want you to kind of behave like this, but then to say all these outlandish things without showing outlandish, like oh, my hands, because my dad like put my hands into like iron and wanted to see if he could manipulate the growth of bones, and so I would just look at my other fingers and then forget about the pain, and it's like, do you need a hug, dude?
Are you okay?
So what's your score?
I think I 8. I think 8. I think a solid 8. I think I want to give it an 8. Yeah, I do. I loved the movie. I will watch it again, I'm sure. I don't think I'll watch it like... I'll probably watch it 2 more times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll at least see it once more to get like a more better understanding. I also... Yeah, like... I also hope like it didn't come off as like, oh, I hate like movies about like women rights and women empowerment. I just hate women. Yeah.
It didn't. It did for the first 2 minutes that we started that conversation, but then it moved away.
And dude, you know something I really enjoyed, and the main thing that got me into watching this movie was the music. I think it's I have the name Jerks Jerskin Fendrix, right? Really nice music. It kind of reminded me of Derek Gently. Dirk Gently.
Oh fuck! I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Dirk Gently?
No.
Dude, that is something you will enjoy so much. I think you have. I'm like
Familiar.
52% sure.
No.
Dirk Gently's department.
Holistic Detective
Yeah.
Agency.
Dude, okay. That's okay.
The
that's,
TV series?
Yeah. It's got 2 seasons.
No, I haven't seen it.
And it's really fun. It's got Elijah Woods.
Is that Elijah Wood? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And it's got great music.
Well, all in all,
Oh, great, man. Yeah, I'm really glad we did this. I think it's cool to also experiment trying to review and talk about these movies as well.
yeah, I
Right.
agree. I had a great time with it. I really did. I mean, you sent me 2 films, both of which I was immediately captivated by because I am left feeling so unsatisfied with so many of the movies that I watch, especially because like I often go into them like really just hoping they don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And so many of them start really well and they've got these cool concepts and like I'm okay with a low budget. I'm okay with some shitty acting. But end it right.
Yeah, it's usually the 20th minute mark where I kind of feel like, okay, does the movie know what it's going to do?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And but also watching a movie like this, it does take a little bit of it. And I think like I want to watch one of these movies like 20% of the time. You know,
Yeah.
1 out of every 5, maybe even 1 out of every 7, depending on where I'm at. Sometimes I want to watch a few of them in a row, but you need to be in a mood to watch
Yeah.
it.
You need to
Right?
be in a
And
mood.
that's why when you sent me the 2, they were both okay, I'm going to have to watch these. They're both 2 very different vibes. I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow, but how I feel tomorrow is going to determine what I want to watch.
Yeah.
Because I have to be in the mood for that. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
it's going to be fucking miserable.
Because what I've been enjoying is like just back-to-back good movies.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know I scored this low, but like still it's like, you know, it's not Holmes and Watson.
It was a good movie. It was a good
you know,
film.
Yeah, it's a good film. At least I also look at it as like, hey, I'm no connoisseur of film. I just watch what's on the screen and talk about it, right? And so I was like, okay, people do love it, and I especially enjoy not liking things other people like.
And then pulling them apart.
Yeah. Cool.